yes. Oh, I'm live. Okay. Share the live as you come in. Good evening, good evening, good evening to all. Welcome to this, the GMS Live Voice of Democracy. I am Dr. Matthews, your host for tonight. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live as you now come. Share the live as you now join. Share the live. Share the live as you now join. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Oh my gosh. Share the live. A very, very, very pleasant good evening to you, to those who are now joining. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Share the live as you now join. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Black love to you all. Black love to you all. Black love is a brand. It's a design that was branded by Gavin Matthews, owned by Gavin Matthews, to be sold on products to the upliftment and the movement of the revolution on this, the GMS Live Voice of Democracy and the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Very, very pleasant good evening to you. I was looking at some things that it seems to be interesting, but I am I am trying to understand what is going on with the little news that is coming forward here. So share the live as we now join. Share the live. So before I start, share the live. Tonight it's going to be an interesting topic. It's explaining the system. And as I was about to think of that and more that I want to talk about, I was looking to see what it was said here on the regional chairs that we have, the committees, and which the de facto administration of Ministry of Labor wants to put an interim management committee there. So it's a hell of a hobble here in Guyana. Share the live as you know, join, share the live. Black love to you all. A pleasant, very pleasant good evening to you all who are now joining. And to those who are now joining via radio, because it's now starting up, the online radio, the GMS Live, Voice of Democracy, and the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Pleasant good evening to you all who are now joining. Please share the live, share the live, share the live. Good night to you from Guyana to the Caribbean Isles, the West Indian Isles, the Pacific Isles, the British Virgin Isles, the US Virgin Isles, Mexico, US, Canada, UK, EU, Beijing, Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, the Korean Peninsula. To those who are joining from Tajikistan and Uzbekistan and Pakistan, India, the country of India. And to those who are joining from the continent, the island continent of Australia, New Zealand, the Isles of New Zealand, the Isles of Tonga, the Tonga Isles, to those who are joining from the African continent and those African isles around the African continent. Some of them we don't know. I was looking at something the other day and I said, well, these are things we're not acquainted with, but it's right out there. So good night to you from the different sections of Africa of the African continent, or as we say, Kemet, or the continent of Kush. If you don't want to say Africa. So good night to you from those who are joining me from the South American continent or the North American continent, because when you check it up, the world is turned right upside down. The map that you think it's just different. Where we are supposed to be north and where the United States are supposed to be south. But hey, food for thought. Education is just a bliss. So good night to you who are joining from the places like Argentina, places like Chile, places like Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Suriname, French and Dutch Guyana, places like the Netherlands, Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, and the island Republic of Barbados. A very pleasant good night to you. A very, very, very pleasant good night to you, to those who are now joining. I don't think much people are privileged to have the. I don't think much people are privileged to have the what you call it again, the notification again tonight. So share the live to those who have joined and realize that the Gavin Matthews, Dr. Matthews is on the air. You can share the live so you're informing those who normally depend upon the Gavin Matthews show on a nightly basis that I am on air. So share the live as you now come in. Share the live. Inform your brothers, inform your sisters, inform Guyanese, all. Share the live. Now, when it says explaining the system, what do I mean by explanation of the system? Let's start from the Regional Democratic Council of Region 10. We're going to start from there. I'm going to show you how the system is so designed to cripple certain understandings. Now, since the de facto administration took over, their intentions was to cripple Region 10 again. Because remember now, Jagdeo, along with his cohorts, his terrorist cohorts, in 23 years, crippled the mining tongue of Linden. In 23 years, almost 80% of the population of Lindeners had to come out of Linden to seek employment in regions number 4. It's still happening today. Almost 80% of Lindeners in the Democratic Council of Linden. When I mean Democratic Council of Linden, I mean Linden, the town that is situated in Region 10, because you have different other townships or neighborhood democratic councils like Kukwani and Aichuni, and those places that are situated in region numbers 10. Now, they work their way in destroying the moral fabric of the town because it's heavily populated of Aboriginal Guyanese. And I'm going to start using the word Aboriginal. So those who would constantly listen to me would understand when I say Aboriginal what I mean. They're not black. Black is it's an adjective. It's a definition of a color. It cannot be a definition of a people. Okay? Aboriginal means abstract from the Father. They are the original people on earth. Yes. So they have worked their way in destroying the moral fabrics. I'm talking about the People's Progressive Terrorist Party. They have worked their way in destroying the moral fabric of the culture of the people of regions number 10, district of Linden, township of Linden. And why do I say so? You see, the last election had gone, out of a population of 20,000 people, 20 plus thousand people in regions number 10, 19,000 plus people have voted landslide for the APNU AFC from the regions number 10 from the township of Linden. 19,000 plus people had voted out of a population of 20,000 in region number 10 by a landslide for the APNU AFC. So as soon as they came in, they make sure that the administrator of the Regional Democratic Council, the body that has to make sure that procurement contracts are being given properly and all these things, budgetary allocation and all these things, was being locked out of his office from performing his duties. As a matter of fact, was being locked out from performing his duties. They make sure a year pass, one whole year passed, that this guy is not being able to function. What is happening now? They let me read this part. Let me read this part so you can be informed of what is going on. Okay, I seem to kind of lost it a bit, but I'm going to make sure that I get it back so I can be able to explain to you. So what the de facto administration is doing is trying to tell Guyanese that, well, look, this guy ain't performing the duties. We really getting nothing out from it. And because he's unable to manage the affairs of Linden, We want to implement a interim management committee. An interim management committee. Who you think they are going to put as interim management committee chairman? Make a wild guess. In a population that is predominantly black or predominantly aboriginal, sorry, that doesn't have no identification to the PPP, predominantly aboriginal society or people, they're appointing an interim management committee to govern them, to make sure that the state of affairs in the township of Linden could run according to what they want. You remember when the rat was pressed to hold local government election? Toronga said that there's no proper management in the mayor's office, so he had to replace them with interim management committees. Going back with the same shoving again. So these committees can function because we can't find the bodies that holds these office. They're in dereliction of their office or duties. So he created interim management committees to represent these townships. And they had Hamilton Green in and out of office. Hold on. I just don't know what you're saying. It says Juke the installed regime hacked you through Gavin Matthews' page. I don't know what you're saying, but you know, I gotta get exactly what you're trying to say. I'm reading the comment on the page to those who are looking. So what you find now, they gone back again to Linden. They want to penetrate Linden. They want to destabilize or destabilize Linden. They want to go back in the process of breaking it up, dividing it. We got those for the PPP who creating havoc, like what happened when the big protests and the burning down of buildings. They want Linden to return to that stage. Because somehow they feel good. You're predominantly Aboriginal. You understand? So their intention is to take away our rights from us, not only as Lindoners but as Guyanese. So they're going to start from region number 10 first. Predominantly Aboriginal, predominantly APNU AFC, and they just don't like it. To those who are now joining, I'm explaining the system of how the People's Progressive Terrorist Party works. Now, we're going to leave Linden, we come to Georgetown. The IMF representative who is here, look at the lawlessness that's going on in this country. I think it's the IDB or the IMF, I'm trying to remember. But they have a representative here, a person, a female individual who would give her reports based upon economic process from Guyana and also Suriname, because she's answerable for both countries. And they met with the stakeholders for Guyana, who are predominantly East Asian. You don't see nobody like me. They don't even care we fourth grade prime minister there. The photo taker router, they didn't even carry him there. And you know this amazing thing? That is happening in our country. These people who gone to represent us as stakeholders, not a black man ain't go there, sorry. Not an Aboriginal person ain't go there to represent our side of the fence of people. Or if he went, he must he went standing up. And then we are not so focused on the information available. Is that all we studying about is some DeMarco who come in, I think, next week or next month. You could imagine we're not so focused on the real things that is destroying us and in our country. And we're so focused on somebody who come in for sing at the National Stadium next month. I mean, are we serious? I want to read this comment that is on my page. It says, Gavin, some of your viewers are not getting you only when someone share it to them. Yes, because to help you to understand, Miss Freeze, the government is in charge of the receptional part of Facebook. I can transmit. They may have to work through the internet agencies, the person who provides the Wi-Fi, to reduce the level of Wi-Fi so the strength of the transmission is weak, so it wouldn't go out there. If it goes out, it will take at least a 5-second delay or a 10-second delay, which would automatically take me off. But on the reception part, they can control who sees me or who views me or not. You understand? So, just for clarification, so you can imagine all these people sit down and meet with the IDB representative, and not one of them in look like me. They sit down for represent Guyana, and then they're saying to you and I, we must sit down and be quiet. Let's look at what is at hand. Y'all take me stupid advice. Let's look what is at hand. Who's at the helm of the executive in Guyana? The People's Progressive Terrorist Party. Who's in charge of the party? Bar Jack Deal. Good. What does the US has on Bar Jack Deal? Lots of information. Lots of them. He's the kingpin. He runs the cartel industry in Guyana. He runs it then and he's running it now. Who does the US can put in jail quicker than any other leader? Bar Jack Deal. So who they gonna do a whole as their puppet? Bar Jack Deal. And ear fraud Ali. So we got three puppets. We got the de facto president, the de facto vice president, and the de facto uh, legal affairs minister or the attorney general. All of them is de facto. We got them on a string like a puppet, so we controlling them. In the meantime, we're arming them so they can control the citizens of the country. They can continue to divide the population and to create anarchy, mayhem, division, and disturbance, because that's the only thing they're good for. So these are the people, if I was the US, I would want to talk to. Because here we have Bar Jack with all these evidence against him. What are the evidence? Let me tell you this. Y'all can remember Roger Khan? You can remember Roger Khan, right? Roger Khan had a plea bargain with the Attorney General's office of New York to give up. This is how we know. This is how the country knew that he was responsible for more than 200 plus deaths in this country because he was given such privilege from Bar Jagdeo, who was then president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So then, if I see the US and I got all this evidence from one of your main kingpins who implicated you and have all the evidence of your implication, I want them who does represent Jagdeo listen. Because all the evidence was given from Mr. Khan to them. That is how we get a sweet deal, a plea bargain. He got a lesser year time, less of years to spend in jail. As to come he's home. That's the plea bargain. That's the sweet deal. So the vex with detail now because the US got him on a string like a puppet. That's why when he go and he sit down and he drink and he enjoying himself at Palm Court, they went there to make sure that they had the end of him, but they caught the wrong individual. So the system now have these terrorists at the helm of the executive of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And the system is propelling all these criminals to sit in a room to be suddenly become stakeholders, to sit and discuss Guyana's future without the presence of the Aboriginals or the representation. Yes, without the representation. And here, to the individual who's on the comment section, they can't carry Roger Khan to court and try him for those 200 plus crimes, the 200 plus killings that he confessed to, because it will implicate the People's Progressive Terrorist Party. It will implicate Bar Jagdeo. So they can't carry to court because the evidence that will be provided. That is why I say, yeah, put a bike on a plane, chain you up like a penguin, carry to the Hague. Make sure when he meet they answer for crimes, war crimes or crimes against humanity. You're talking about Bar Jagdeo. This boy walking around this country free, sit down on a podium. And we so afraid of him. Imagine Guyanese so afraid of this one stupidness. Them boys only got strength when people they wrong them with gun. You carry away the people them who ain't got gun, they ain't got no strength. Them boys, if a fly sing too hard, they gotta run, gotta frighten. When I put a black man wrong he with a gun with a D show, he got protection. Cause the black man gonna kill another black man. Like how they sit down planning for me. I don't mind. But in the meantime, I gotta make sure that my voice is heard. Because the people have to be educated, they have to be informed about a system that you know so designing to take away their rights. You can imagine you have a board of representatives that are called stakeholders. All of them look like they come from Region 6 or Region 5. None of them will look like me. They suddenly become the important stakeholders of Guyana. They're sitting there to discuss the future of Guyana's economic status. By the from the IDB resident representative in Guyana. You could imagine that. And it is in the papers, but we're not paying attention to it. We're not paying attention to it because we're studying about the Marco will coming next month. Let me tell you something. So those who are looking at the government you show now in the diaspora, y'all don't send no money this month because apparently if you are send home this money this month 10 to them, believe you me, all I'm gonna turn up the stadium next month to watch DeMarco entertain them. When you talk about protest, nobody ain't going out. Nobody ain't even humming or singing a tune. Because this is so important for them, their future, their lives. This is for tomorrow, for their children. They ain't got time with it. They ain't got time with it, friend. They're studying about DeMarco will come in. I don't even know who or what is DeMarco. I heard it today from at least 15 individuals. Imagine a man asked me if I got in DeMarco. I said, who? The who? I had to ask, I said, wisdom is a name or is a person or a place or a thing? I am serious. We got to be. The thing is that I am trying to understand people. I'm really, really trying to understand what is in our minds, in our brains. Are we not that focused? Can't we see that our rights, our rights, our wealth, our economic processes, our economic, saying the wrong thing. I think I'm too worked up. Our economic future has been taken from us. Our extracted minerals have been taken from us without even asking us a simple question. And we're holding meetings with a bunch of criminals to represent us. I am serious. A bunch of criminals to represent us. Can you imagine that? It's hard, it's something that I can't really imagine. You imagine a board of people sit down there, none of them will look like me, and all of them got criminal backgrounds. They're questionable characters, and suddenly the IDB representative sitting down to talk with them on economic procedures for Guyana. Which one Guyana they're talking about there? I'm trying to find out which one Guyana are they talking about? You know, which the $2,000 bill we're talking, the $2,000 bill belongs to Bar Jack deal. If there's one Guyana they're talking about. Guyanese, those in the diaspora, you hear her talking to y'all. Don't send money home this month. This month, 10, right? This month 10 that coming up here. Don't send home no money. You keep your money in your pocket. Wait till the Marco come and gone. because like we ain't getting it right. For me, I know who's the mark. If you ask me, I didn't even know they got a singer coming to the country. And I asked me if I listen to 94.1. I said, I can't listen to people who enslaving their brothers and sisters and they're just like me. Them boys, the slave drivers, I can't listen to them. We got to be serious in this place. As Guyanese and as a people, you can imagine a criminal entity like the People's Progressive Terrorist Party. Bunch of criminals could sit down with more criminals like themselves to discuss the future of Guyana. Oh shoot, I forget to even tell you, tomorrow is another day of court for me again. This is how it works. That's a system to continue frustrating the process of Gavin Matthews. I got court today, tomorrow again, bright and early. Tomorrow's the 7th, right? Yes. Taking away my constitutional rights. You could imagine I got to go to court to represent my own inalienable rights and my constitutional rights. Tomorrow I got to go to court for that, which is freedom of speech. They say my words cause emotional distress to the little child who's running Ministry of Sports, Youth and Culture. So this is why I gotta go to court for again tomorrow. Look at it. This is what? January, February, March, April in the new year, the 4th month. Since when? It's been September last year I was arrested. Can't even really remember. Or October. I was arrested twice last year. Arrested twice last year, kidnapped once. And I still going. I still there on the air making sure that people must be educated, they must be informed. Y'all stop supporting this nonsense because this nonsense is what is miseducating us. It's not informing us as a people. We're unable to see, we're unable to have a true vision of what is the outlook or outcast for Guyana. Because why? We ain't got time with her. We got time with DeMarco. Here, nails, that's it. Weed, poppy, or wherever you call it, or Mali, the Guinness, the rum, that's it. That's all we got time for. Man, it is sad to know that we keep going down this road every single day. And yet, still, we are not being educated by a political representative of what is going on in this country. So many deals are being made on a daily basis that we have less the information to understand. It's printed in the news media, in the print. But you know why it's been there is because we don't like read. We don't like read. People still calling me and asking me about things that is in the newspaper. But we just want to hear somebody talk about it. Then we take it and carry it without even no knowledge of it. Not even 1 cent iota knowledge of the information that we taking and carrying because Gavin Matthews says so. And you find yourself in a conversation and argument without the knowledge of the fact because Gavin Matthews says so. No, I want you to read. Meanwhile, only listen to me. I want you to read. The thing is that every news agencies on Facebook, NCN, Credible Source, Nightly News, Prime News, well, Skycho News, all of these agencies are on Facebook. Even if you don't want to Google it, just go into Facebook, search, and you can find it. It's right there. Oh, I beg you, just read. Just read. This is all I want y'all to do. Just read. Read something. It's going to help you to understand what's going on. And for big people, look, let me show you how the ideologies of people so mix up. Watch. Look. You see what's on the screen there? That's what they want you to do, because they know that your limitation is small, your ideologies is limited. For you to think proper, it's hard, because you're entertained by the nonsense that people talk. I mean, come on. Look at the conversation I'm encouraging here tonight. And look what is the reply. Nothing pertaining to the conversation. This we're talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That's all we can do to each other. Seriously. To understand the point in which is being explained, it becomes a hard thing. You can imagine people sit down to take away billions of US dollars from you. And all you can sit down to think about is critic. Seriously. All you can sit down to think of billions, you can imagine people sit down on a round table. They ain't got nobody to represent you. We're writing the craziness in the comments. They've got nobody there to sit down to represent you. And what? That is all we can do. That is all we can do, because our faculty is only fixed upon one thing, and they control you with it. It's entertainment all the time. While they take away your wealth, you focus upon the entertainment. Seriously. We got to sit down and look where we're going as a people. What is our future tomorrow? We got to be serious. Why are we here? Where are we going? What is the future for my children? Or you're studying about you alone? Or you alone want to get money? You alone want to get rich? Can you imagine? I sit down and I said, as I'm saying right now here, they're at a round table discussing billions of US dollars. Billions of US dollars. Billions, not 100 million, 200 million. Not even 300 million. This jokey money. Let me tell you how jokey is the money right now. You could imagine a man can award 100 million US dollars to a particular section of the East Coast, which is 20.7 billion Guyana dollars, to the East Coast of Demerara. a place that they call Enmore. That is what is going to be awarded to that village. They pass all the villages. They pass Pleasance, they pass Annandale, they pass Buxton, they pass Friendship. All them villages gone till to Enmore. And that money bypass National Agricultural Research Institute. It can't go there. Too much black people there. I am serious. We gotta focus. We gotta stop wanting to be entertained. I can't put on a wig and a dress to make you smile and laugh. I got to sit here to teach because you know why? We lack the knowledge of wanting to focus. We got to be serious. It's not no plaything. The system of the People's Progressive Terrorist Party is so much designed take to take away from us what is rightfully ours as Guyanese, as Aboriginal people. These people intend to have us become a poor class citizen. So even if we're the majority in vote, we're poorer because we cannot afford to go and vote. We cannot afford to be represented. You know why? This is why they're saying that. Now you look where predominantly the, or you call it Afro Guyanese areas is, or the Black Guyanese as you want to call it. I say Aboriginal. Look and see where they are and how they're living. Take a very good look. You like how it says, right? Shanty tongue, ghetto. Look where the opposition is. Can't find the footing. So who's going to represent them? Nobody. So they could turn to the international community and say, see what's selling. Remember, Charles Ramson came on the air and says the black community has no good role models because all its leaders are being paid and bought for. So they ain't got nobody could represent you. They could tax her. Jack Dio now says it. The PNC has neglected their constituency. Remember, he said that. But we focusing, you know why they're saying it? Because in times like these, as for stakeholders to represent the economic interests of Guyana, they can't call black people because they know what they're representing you. You don't live a life to become a stakeholder. Remember Mr. What's his name? The ex-chancellor of the judiciary, Carl Singh's son. He said black people ain't there no way. I can't there no way in life. That is what they're teaching, not only their children, but they're teaching business, economic business. The only way I can get through, the only way I can make hundreds of billions of dollars is if I give you a couple 100,000 Guyana dollars. If I call you every month and I give you 6, 7, 800,000 Guyana dollars, enough money to pay your rent, pay your light bill, send your children to school, live in a nice house and drive a fancy car. That's how they stabilize you to them because they're going to create in your mind, well, oh yes, this is nice living. So I can send you now the house slave because that's what you become now. You're not worth hundreds of billions of US dollars. It's like when they used to call me first. And the first time they offered me 15 million Guyana dollars. I said, oh, me up on the. Then they call me back and they offer me 25 million US dollars. And I turn and I tell them, I said, hey, if you could spend 45 million US dollars on an election, hey, call me and give me 25 million Guyana dollars. Why look to you like, man? On an election. And you know why they spend that money? Because they see long term they're going to get back more than that. That's what is happening. Now them boys passing budget for 500 billion, which is couple 100 million US dollars. They get back the money. Fair and square. All them who invest, I get back the money. But the question is that the system is so designed that we cannot be a part of that economic boost. Because they're being controlled by the State Department to make sure we remain that way. Because they get the hundreds of millions or billions US dollars. And we get the crumbs that fall off the table. And if you get the crumbs, you can't complain. Seriously. Don't worry about the pastor's friend. To that person who asking about the pastor, let me read it because I'm reading as I go by. Where are the pastors that is supposed to represent the people? The majority of black people are Christian. Here, the first thing they did when they were installed, was to create a faith-based initiative. It's coming up again on Friday. You see, they're calling on all the religious bodies to have a national day of prayer because they're already being paid. The faith-based initiative, $50 million were dished out. You know, Gavin Matthews, you know me mouth tear up. Well, by the way, it went in the it went in the newspaper. It went all over the place. Those who know hearing it, I sorry. Yes, $150 million were presented to the faith-based initiative. That's the group of Christian churches, along with the Hindus and the Muslims. But the Christian community, the evangelistics and all these people, they come together under one Christian body. Yes, they met with them, especially those of the 7 Days Adventist, which has the largest population of membership in Guyana that are black people. They make sure they concentrate on the 7 Days Adventists because they're so large, they got to rent out a stadium to have a general meeting. So then we fool ourselves. Pastors were paid in advance. I go and tell them I said so. So they are there to make sure that you keep quiet. When these things are happening, you pray some more. You ask God to intervene when poor God sit down watching y'all and saying, well, pray without works is dead as y'all got push it first. Y'all got get up and move in order for I work. But they know that you're going to sit down and you ain't gonna move. Because the system is so designed to keep you quiet. And those who cannot talk, you have to be more entertained. You go on the streets tomorrow, you ask them, what's the most important thing going on in the country now, boy? Tell everybody the Marco coming next month. I got prepared fee. You understand? Check it out. You check it out. That was it. That was the talk today on the streets when I was walking down the street. Everything. I don't like that. They like when you don't have time with politics. They love that. Seriously. They love when you don't have time with politics. Well, you see, they got me in and out. But they like when you don't have time with politics. They don't like you to have time with nothing. All we want to do is sit down and enjoy life. Like the particular DJ we came on social media and say, you see, Guyanese? All Guyanese want to do is live comfortable. Go sit down, drink the beers, feel nice, enjoy, party hard on this life. You can imagine that. That's how they got me down. That's why Caribbean countries looks at us and realize that we don't even have a clue, a simple iota clue about what is going on. We don't have a single iota clue. I know some people can call me when I done pertaining to what I done say about the church. I don't care. That's a fact. That is a fact. If I was the president and I want to calm you all down, what do you think I can do? I can seek all means necessary in how to calm you down. And if I can't get it done well, I can seek other means that are brute force and ignorant. That's what happens to dictators like Jack Dio. Still a dictator. Imagine that. And he could only be a dictator by the support of those that I call the black ones who do their work, their dirty work, to make sure that you keep quiet. Well, poor me, I can't keep quiet. There ain't no way I could keep quiet. Yes, I see they're trying to cut me off. Doesn't matter. I got him in a GT grip tonight, a vice grip. But the question is, what are we going to do about what I'm talking about? Are we going to teach our children? Are we going to teach ourselves? Are we going to talk to our wives? Are we going to reduce the entertainment? Because this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Guyanese all. If we reduce the need for entertainment and start picking up the need to focus on the economic value of our country, you realize it hits and jams on 94.1 can't rally throughout the country, can't convince nobody. Seriously, you think about it. You turn on the radio right now as I talking. You can hear somebody there singing for 2 pieces of fried chicken, a 10 ounce drink, and some fries from KFC. Join the bus. That's the word. Nothing pertaining to what is going on in our country. Nothing. And they're gonna say, well, by this is the only radio black people could turn to. But what is it teaching us? It's teaching us three things: prostitution to our women, drugs, guns to our boys and brothers, and crime. That's what it's teaching us. Because what can these singers or these people that they have on the radio playing that can tell us nothing? Nothing. They ain't even doing like me. Watch, I just turn on the music for me radio station and it's play. You know why it's played? Because I want them to listen. So when I come on the radio, it's no more music. It's about teaching. They ain't even doing the. They ain't even saying, well, I can got the music playing to draw them in. And when they fully come in, I can bring on the subject or the subject matter. Nothing. We had one man used to got a hot seat when this government, when this de facto administration was installed. The techie and putty as head of the communications director in the police force. So now he's being employed by the de facto system. So he can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. And at the end of the day, we are a multi-billion dollars empire. You know, the amazing thing is that we who living in this country, as we want to call ourselves black people, we who live in this country, we are the economic basin for Guyana. If we don't spend any money, these air stores, these nail stores, these cook shop can't make money. They can't. The minibus operation can't make money. The taxi can't make money. The cook shop, the Chinese can't make money. You know why I'm telling you, sir? Go in the ghetto. One street, you find 5 Chinese supermarket in the ghetto. You're trying to tell me that it's not $1 billion empire that all of we sitting upon, but we don't think like that. Me money, you money, all of we money spent at one place. We don't think like that. I can tell you that because it is of a fact. One single, you could imagine one single street, 5 Chinese supermarket, one single street, 4 churches. I mean, not churches fried chicken, but religious organization. 4 in the ghetto. So our spending now, according to this commenter, of course, our spending now becomes a development for others, not for us. You check it. You're making money, which bank you're carrying it to? You're carrying it to either Republic Bank, which is not owned by any black person that I can think of. You can carry it to Citizens Bank, which is owned by Bank ZIH, but to me, it ain't owned by no black person. You can carry it to GBTI, which it ain't owned by any black person. You can carry it to Demerara Bank, it's the same thing. But where is our black bank? Nowhere around. When the churches don't make the money on a Sunday, they carry it to the bank. Me and you money we work so hard for to throw us 10% or 1/10 of our earnings, as a matter of fact. Take it and carry it to another bank to put it up, not in you bank, where it can develop the process of the black community or the black dollar. Nothing. And this administration that they got is so much designed to make sure that you remain in that position. One meeting of stakeholders for representation of Guyana. You could imagine. None of them look like me, boy. None of them hearing hard and woolly on the head. Not even the 4th grade photo taker out to Prime Minister even there. Watch this I pass. A country that is predominantly, right now, I don't care what nobody say. We are the largest voting constituency right now in Guyana. Years ago, before 1992, as they claim, the PPP had the largest vote, but it's not that anymore. Because over 200 something thousand people left this country, and majority of them came from the PPP voting constituency. They know that. Why I think they were working so hard to bring home their own people to vote Last election gone. They give them all kind of props. Say if you all come home to vote, I can make sure you get this and you, but the people ain't coming and they still ain't coming. So what do you left with? What are you left with? Well, hey no partner. I don't care if the black people sell me out. I don't accustomed to selling out. They're selling out one another. So I don't care if they sell me out. The mere fact is that I did my quote before I leave this earth. That's the fact. So whether or not the black people sell me out, I don't care. I did my quote. I make sure before I leave this earth, Gavin Matthews must be taught about. It must be a subject in political science at the University of Guyana. My name, Gavin Matthews. They must never forget it. It must be a scar upon the racial memory. They will never forget me. They will teach about me. There'll be a good documentary about me. Written documentary. They gotta go to when they go to UG, they gotta study hard and make sure when they study about Gavin Matthews because I didn't sit down and waste time. I didn't sit down and say who can sell me out. I didn't sit down and say, well, what you gonna do? Or you got to pray. Or look up into the sky, think looking for change. I didn't sit down and quote nice quotes and hope for change. No, I get up and move. I take lock up, take threat, take kidnap, take everything. The only thing I take it is a bullet. I'm showing you. The only thing I take it is a bullet, but what? Everybody know that it is the truth. Me lying? Me not come here and waste time and lie. It didn't make no sense. Why think they gonna lock me up? You think they lock you up for lying? Because you talk truth. Why think I gotta go to court tomorrow? Got to turn up in court tomorrow. And what? You think the support is there? The support isn't there. Nobody comes. The only people know I got court tomorrow is when I go there and I turn up and the people who gotta go to court there, they just realize, Mr. Matthews, you gotta go to court today. Okay, I ain't hear nobody talking about it. Nobody talks about it. That's how it happens. But everybody wants to hear you, but to support you, nobody talks about it. So it's okay. If the support is not there, imagine selling out. It's okay. If this is how I gotta live my life, if this is my time, and this is how I got to shine, well, that's it. I have walked the walk. I have paid the price. Well, I ain't paid yet, but I'm in the process of paying the price. Just that you who are texting on the commentary can have rights. That's how beautiful it is. I'm walking the walk and talking the talk and I'm paying the price so you can have freedom. You, your children, and everybody else. I am paying the price. And when people look at Guyana, they must hear about a lot of people, but one thing they must hear about is Gavin Matthews. When they hear about Gavin Matthews and they start viewing about Gavin, people talking about Gavin Matthews, then the government just know how effective you are. It's not about ratings. It's not about ratings. You know how effective I am. Is that I just get, is either is you cut off or is get locked up on charge. All these things has happened to me. It's that I'm effective. I put the truth out there. It's not what you did in private life. It's what you did to the public and in public that is so damaging to the people of this country, that the representation is not there because we are living like crabs in a barrel. So while I refuse to talk about all the other things that the social media pundits are talking about, because I'm focused on the things that are taking away our rights. This is not about DeMarco. This is not about DeMarco coming to Guyana. This is about our rights as a citizens, our constitutional rights that was taken away from us and it still be taken away from us. Still be taken away from us. Let me get this part here. Hold on. Let me get this part. Oh, I don't have it. I've been looking for it for the longest while. I've been looking for it for the longest while. I gotta make sure that I put these things in correct. So when I have this little show, that I be able to talk about it. But you can imagine an IDB representative here in Guyana having a meeting with stakeholders. None of them that sit down on the board there as stakeholders, you can't find them next month at DeMarco, or whenever the singer come in. They ain't even going by the gate for pay. They can sit down and study. If I charge you $8,000 per entrance for one individual and 15,000 a year, turn up, ask how much money is there. This way they can sit down and study how much money they can get out of your pocket. How much money they can get out of your pocket. Imagine that. They turn up at the show. They turn up after the show to make sure that they get their bits and piece out of your pocket. We can turn up there. We let us say $7,000 for entrance. Most obviously be 6 or 8. Let's look at $6,000 per entrance for one individual. When you enter now, let me say carry a girl. They're 6 and 6, 12. She got eat and she got drink and I got dance. When you're done, you gotta get taxi fare. It's roughly about $30,000 you're going there with, right? 30 grand. Multiplied it by 15,000 people. Do the maths. Do the maths. And ask yourself this question. Is it worth it? When is it worth it when people sitting down around a board and discussing your future without your representation? Telling a representative about you because you cannot represent yourself because you're a minority. You're unable. Minority means an unable, ignorant person. Doesn't know the law, doesn't know the facts. So you have to have somebody to represent you. That's what minority means. That's what minority means. So when I sit down here and I'm trying to let you know these things, it is because it is not only on my mind, but this is what is happening before you. And you need to get real with the situation. Yes, you do. It is the situation. It's a failed state that we're living in. We are in an economic decline. Guyana will be one of the poorest country in this hemisphere. The speed we're going, you know why? We're gonna be oil rich, but the people are going to be stinking poor. Because in order for them to gain the wealth that they need, the country, its citizens has to be poor. Or who you think gonna be the poorest people? Take a good look. Look at yourself. Take a very, very good look. All we are entitled to for the year, like how the year is coming, is we are in the year, we got $25,000 check for collect. You could imagine the check ain't come yet, and we talking about it. You pick up the phone, you pick up the Facebook, we're talking about it. $25,000 check for the children, $5,000 school voucher, and $14,000 benefits. This is what we talking about. It didn't even meet $100,000 yet, and that's what we were talking about. And them same people say don't plan how to get it back out of you. Then people say don't forget it back out of you. It's like I told a friend today. I said, "Man, why you complaining about the $6,000 for the T-shirt?" He said, "Man, it's too expensive." He forgot he just told me that. Then he tell me he had to take the money for go and buy some Nike for he and the girl, and it cost them like $40,000. So I started laugh. He asked me why I laugh, and I said, "Well, imagine me Black Love only cost 6,000. 6,000 is a brand that I create, I patterned, I certified myself for it, so I can create and design a brand that belongs to me, that I can sell it, that can represent an organization, a revolution." Man, are you crying? I don't own a Nike brand. I think it was TN. I don't even know what's TN. Believe you me, I don't know what is a TN. But you can imagine buying two pairs for $40,000 for the two pairs. Here, to the person who's asking the question, the only thing I'm asking you to do is support the cause. Instead of ask the question, support the cause. The Gavin Matthews Show needs the support of our people. When you support the cause will rise out of the ashes in which it's in. You give breath, you give body, you give strength to the cause. Support the cause. When we do that, we give strength to each other. It can move from one place to the next. It can now come to the ears and to the eyes of individuals who didn't know. I can have a better broadcast by supporting the cause. So the de facto administration wouldn't be able to block it. You can imagine it's 2 years. March last month, 25th of March last month, Made it 2 years to the Gavin Matthews show. Go back and check day after day how many times I'm on the live stream talking about this de facto administration, the de facto regime, talking about Exxon Mobil, talking about the destruction of the system in the country to enslave Guyanese, talking about all these things. I've been here for 2 years. 2 years. We need to support the cause. We need to bring ourselves out of the ashes. We need to represent ourselves. Do it so you can be properly represented. It's a must. It's not a maybe. Don't sit down and think how much you will lose because I'm losing. I've already lost, but I'm winning. I may lose physically, but I'm winning in strength and in spirit. Because the strength of a man is not what he builds, gains, or buys. It's the ability to change lives. And that's what I do here on this show. Night after night after night. Informing and educating the people about the facts and the truth. That we need to move from where we are to be successful in a revolution, and in change. We need to have change in this country. We have already made some process and progress on it, but we still need to move harder as we can. Nobody come and sweet talk you. They ain't got no sweet talk. Enough like me this come and sweet talk you to prevent you from moving. Now come and tell you, oh boy, think about your family. I got children for live for well here. Where's the sense having your children living in a terrorist state that they could wake up any morning and die? Because the de facto administration is a bunch of terrorists. Think about it. Think about it. A lot of people don't like when I speak, but I got to speak. It's a must. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? Ask any one of them who sit down behind the computer viewing this live stream and texting at the same time or commenting. Which one of them are going to get up and do it? That's why I'm here to give you that push. But you got to understand push is about focusing on what is facts and what is real. The reality is that we need a representation of ourselves in times like this. They're taking away your future and they will not stop until all is gone. This is Dr. Matthews saying to you, thank you very much for those who would have joined me for the past hour and a half and allowing me into your lives and your homes so we can have this discourse continuously, allowing you to make your minds up to that change. Support the Black Love movement. It is a brand to support and give breath and body to a revolution. Black Love was created by me, owned by me. And it's been done so we can have support again to the movement, financial support, so we can rise ourselves out of which we are, gain strength on the stage of economic, political, and social order. I want to thank you very much for tonight. For those who are still interested in placing those orders, the number is 611 6575 592 611 6575. You can call me, WhatsApp call me, text me. I'd very much appreciate your order. It is for the benefit of you. Stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. Don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthew saying good night and Cheerios for now.